Thank you so much for joining me today for this chair yoga practice. My name is Christine. I am integrated yoga therapy. So if you are seeing something that you would like to have more of, or if you're not seeing something that you would like to have some one-on-one time, feel free to reach out to me directly. My website is in the description box below for some one-on-one sessions. First session with me is free, so please feel free to reach out if you have something specific that you're not seeing handled in these classes or any other classes, because I would love the opportunity to work directly with you. So here we are in our sturdy seat, no wheels on the bottom, feet on the ground. And let's go ahead and just shake off whatever has happened so far today or this week or this year, who knows. Just begin to shake off your arms. You might bring your hands up a little bit or out or down. You could extend one leg and then the other, or maybe just rock your knees from side to side. You might just shake, 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 just shake everything off. Shake, shake, shake. And then 3 last ones at the end, just like you've been in a public restroom with no paper towels. Shake that off. 2 and 3. And then just come back to center, come back to stillness, feet under your knees, head over your heart, heart over your hips, and maybe close your eyes, or at least soften your gaze a bit, and just notice what's happening in your body now, just after that little bit of shaking. Notice any sense of tingling or warmth or aliveness. This just helps to anchor us to the present moment. Relax the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders, and really feel your feet on the ground, feel your palms resting in your lap. And just notice for a moment the sounds that you hear around you. Now, I have dogs barking and birds singing outside my window. Maybe you also hear those, or maybe whatever is outside of your window. Maybe hearing my voice or me throwing my jacket onto the floor. Just letting these sounds, your sense of hearing, ground you to this right here, right now, present moment, where we're not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We're right here, right now. And then let's do some pranayama here. So some breathing practices. We're gonna bring the hands right down to the low belly. And you can bring one hand and then the other to cover, or maybe just one hand if you're sore in one side. And we're just gonna breathe into the belly. So as you inhale, inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, exhale out the nose. And as you breathe here, you'll feel your hands expand away from your spine as you breathe in. And soften back towards the spine as you breathe out. So just really inviting the breath to be deep into the belly helps to tell our nervous systems that we're safe, that we don't have to be breathing fast or heavy or high in the chest to meet any kind of threat, that right here, right now, we're safe. It's okay to be still. It's okay to move. And then bring one of your hands, the back of your hand, to your low back, just on the opposite side of this hand at the low belly. And see if you can perceive A little bit of expansion and softening in the low back as you breathe here. So that you're breathing all the way down deep in your belly, front to back. Just 2 more breaths right here. And you can release the arms if this is awkward for you. You can simply look for that expansion and that softening. And then when you're ready, bring your hands right here to your hips and see if you can feel the breath there as you breathe into the low belly. So that you're breathing 360 degrees all the way around into this low belly. Let's just have a couple more breaths right here. However, your hands are supportive for you, wherever they feel the most comfortable and natural. And then we'll release and come to the ribs. So the diaphragm is right here underneath the sternum, and it is attached to the ribs here. So if you bring your palms or the backs of your fingers to the side bodies and look for the expansion and the softening here as you breathe, you might feel your ribs expanding into your hands and then softening inward. And as always, you can release your hands if this is uncomfortable. It's kind of awkward. But just a couple breaths here with the hands, just so that you can really feel the movement. And let's just breathe there 3 more rounds of breath with or without the hands. Again, feeling the breath all the way around 360 degrees into the sides, the front, and the back of this area at the middle ribs. And it doesn't need to be forceful or coercive. You just want to gently receive the breath. And then with your next breath, it might be helpful to bring one hand and then the other over the center of the chest. And here we want to fill up the lungs in the upper region of the torso. So as you inhale, you might feel your chest lift, your collarbones expand, your shoulder blades might expand, and your shoulders might broaden. See if you can cultivate that 360-degree breath around the shoulders. 3 more breaths there with or without your hands. And then let's put that all together. So we're going to inhale and invite the breath into the low belly, and then into the ribs, and then into the lungs. And then as we exhale, we'll soften the chest, soften the ribs, and soften the belly. Seated or standing, whatever works for you. Inhale all the way around the belly, and then into the lungs, and then into the chest. And then exhale, let your chest soften, your ribs hug inward, and your belly soften. And you can have your hands wherever it feels natural and comfortable for you. Let's just take 3 more big breaths here. Inhale, belly, ribs, lungs. Exhale, upper region, mid region, lower region. In your own timing. Let's just practice that for another 30 seconds or so here. Let it be soft. Let it be easy. And then with your next inhale, let it be the biggest breath you've taken all day. And when you exhale, let it go out the mouth with a big sigh. And invite yourself to deeply relax. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and get some gentle movement here. So just beginning to start at the top of the head, let's just take our gaze from side to side, starting here in the neck, looking out over your right shoulder and then out over your left shoulder. Let's look out over each shoulder 3 times. And then we'll look up towards the sky and down towards the ground. Up and down 3 times. And then bring your head back to the top of your spine again, and we're just going to take that right ear towards the right shoulder. And let's just stay here for a few breaths, and you might invite that 3-part breath we just practiced: belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. Just noticing how your breath can support you here. If you like, you might sweep that left arm back behind you and bring the back of the hand to the low back or towards that right hip any amount. And just notice how that changes things for you. Getting into the upper shoulder, the upper arm. One more full breath right here. And then when you take your next exhale, release your arm and release your chin down towards your heart. And just rock your ears gently from side to side. And then bring your head back up to the top of the spine and just notice any sense of imbalance there. We were over there for quite a while, so your left shoulder might be feeling a different sensation than the right shoulder. And then let's take that left ear towards the left shoulder. And again, just let your head be heavy, relax your right shoulder down. Breathe your breath, maybe your natural breath, or maybe invite that 3-part breath back in again. And maybe if you want more sensation, you can bring the back of the right hand to the low back or over towards that left hip. And just notice how that changes things for you. One more full breath here. One more inhale, exhale, release the chin, release the arm, just gently rock from side to side a couple times, and then invite your head back up to the top of your spine, and now notice what's happening. Every time we stop, every time we pause, we strengthen that muscle within ourselves in between stimulus and reaction. Usually something happens and we react immediately. But when we can stop for the pause, that can serve us on the mat and off the mat. So let's go ahead and inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale to draw them down. Inhale to bring them up. Exhale to release them down. Let's just do that a couple more times. And then let's roll the shoulders up and down and back. 2, 3, 4 times, whatever feels nice. And then we'll just shake that out again. And then we're going to go ahead and come to standing here. So before you come to stand, let's get a little movement into the lower legs. So peel your heels up off the ground and then drop them right down. Peel them up, drop them down. Peel them up, drop them out. Twice more. Just waking up the feet, waking up the knees, and then we'll step the right foot out and back, left foot out and back. Twice more on each side. And then draw your heels back a little bit. And as you inhale, press into your feet, come to rise up, raise your arms up towards the sky, bring your palms together, and exhale to draw your hands right on down to your heart. Now, if you'd rather do this from seated, you certainly can, but if you're ready to get up out of your chair, join me in mountain pose. So from seated or standing, rotate your palms forward so that your shoulder blades come down your back and your heart lifts. Let's inhale to reach up again and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to meet your heart. And just take a moment here to acknowledge what is real for you right now. So it is April of 2025. We have a lot going on in the world today. A lot of people are letting everyone know what they are against. But take a moment here to acknowledge what you are for. So what is that? What are you for? What are you striving for? What is your heart longing for? And how can you bring more of that into your life and into your practice? So let's do some movement here for our lymphatic system. So we're just going to start at the top of the head and work our way down to kind of release and relieve and get some movement in the lymph nodes area. And then we'll work our way bottom to top to get the rest of the whole system in. So let's bring the heels of the hands right above your ears. And we're just going to kind of make little pressure, just very light pressure, little gentle circles here in one direction, maybe 5 or 6 in each direction. And then we're just going to tap from the hairline to the base of the skull 3 times, just tapping all the way down, moving lymphatic fluid, which is the brain's lymphatic fluid. And then we're going to take our right fingertips over here to the base of the throat and make 5 or 6 circles in each direction with those fingers. And then we're going to tap 10 times. And then opposite side, left fingers to the base of the throat on the right, right here above the collarbone. 5 or 6 circles in each direction, just a gentle massaging pressure. And then 10 gentle little taps. And then you can take your index fingers and your middle fingers right here up underneath the ears. So 1 on each side, we're just going to do those circles once again, 5 or 6 in each direction, and we're hitting all the places where the major lymph nodes are, just to give them a little bit of a refresher here, and then 10 taps. And now we're moving to the left armpit, so you can use the flat part of your fingers, make your circles right here. And you can do it right here where the arm and the shoulder join, and then 10 taps. And then same thing, left fingers on the right side, 5 or 6 in each direction, and 10 taps. And then we've got a lot of lymph nodes in the abdomen as well. So bring both hands over the abdomen and we're going to make some circles moving counterclockwise. 5 or 6 in each direction. Rub your tummy and then 5 or 6 clockwise. This is in the direction of the intestines. So the ascending colon goes up the right, the descending colon goes down the left. So we're just helping the digestive flow. And then pat your tummy 10 times. Same thing right here at the groin. 5 or 6 circles in each direction where the thighs meet the pelvis. And then 10 taps here. And the last part is behind the knees. So again, you can come back to seated or you can simply gently bend over, rub the back of your knees 5 or 6 times in each direction. And then 10 taps. And then come back to seated. And just take a moment here to notice how you feel. Maybe not much of anything. Maybe you're feeling very alive. Maybe you're feeling very well cared for. And then we're going to move on to the legs here. So go ahead and start with the right leg. We're just going to bring that right leg up and bring the right ankle to the top of the left knee. We're just going to gently bring our hands to slide up the top of the foot, the top of the shin, the sides and the back of the calf towards the knee, and then up the thigh, top, sides. You might have to lift your leg up to come down the back of the hamstring, all the way up towards the groin where we just woke up those lymph nodes. Same thing on the left. We're just going to pick up that right ankle and we're going to stroke from the top of the foot, around the ankle, top of the shin, sides, back of the calf, drawing that lymphatic fluid up towards the lymph nodes at the back of the knee, and then continuing on up, front of the thigh, sides of the thigh, back of the thigh, to the best of your ability. Doesn't have to be perfect. All the way up towards the groin. Beautiful. And then again, from seated or standing, and every time we come to stand, just think that you're putting some weight on those bones. So any kind of weight-bearing movement that you do builds strong bones. So if that's available to you today, maybe come to stand. And we're just going to continue here with the arms now. So same thing. We're just going to reach out the left hand to the right arm. And the lymphatic system is in the fascia, in between the skin and the muscle and fat. So it's right under the skin. You don't have to press hard. And then we'll reach that right arm up to the sky and come down the back of the arm towards the armpit. Beautiful. And then the other side. Just inside, sides, top of the arm, all the way up towards the shoulder. And then reaching the left arm up and coming down towards the armpit. Beautiful. And then we're just going to shake that out and come to stand or sit back in your mountain pose. If you're not standing already, I invite you to go ahead and come to stand and turn to face. We'll start with the back of the chair. So come to stand behind your chair. Bring your hands to the back of your chair. And we're simply going to walk backwards until you can't really walk backwards anymore and your hands are still on the chair. Bend your knees generously and send your tailbone back towards the wall behind you. Open up across your armpits here and find that 3-part breath. So inhale into your belly, your ribs, and your chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Now you can continue right here, but if you prefer and you want to come down a little bit lower, you can bring your hands to the seat of the chair and find your breath here. Same thing, just a little bit more sensation, and you really want to draw your sit bones out. Imagine yourself getting your spine longer and longer. Just 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently walk back up towards the chair, press into your feet, and inhale to come all the way back up to stand. And just notice how you feel here. And then now with everybody with their hands on the seat of the chair, let's go ahead and fold forward. If you prefer to be on the ground, you can do this on the ground. We're just going to do a cat and cow. So as you inhale here, drop your belly, draw your heart forward. And as you exhale, round your spine, draw your chin towards your heart, and draw your belly button up towards the sky. Inhale, heart forward, tailbone up. Exhale, tailbone down, crown of the head towards the ground. Let's just do 3 more rounds here. Relax your face, relax your jaw. The next time you inhale, come back to a nice flat spine. Bring one hand and then the other to your hips. Bend your knees, press into your feet, and come all the way back to standing. And just take a moment to notice here what you're noticing. Palms turn to the front, standing in your mountain pose. Just notice what you notice. And then just a little bit more movement here. Again, maybe standing at the back of your chair just for balance. Bring your right hand to the chair and just turn the top of your left foot to the ground. So just a little bit of a quad stretch, a little bit of the opening here for the front of the hip flexor. Turn to face forward, although you can peek at me if you need to see. Then we're going to reach that left arm up to the sky. Really take a little bit of a back bend here if you can and open up the whole front line of the left side of your body. Now you might like to stay here or with that left arm down, or maybe lift the left foot up and take a hold of it in your left hand and have a little more opening in the front of the body. 2 more breaths wherever you are, your choice. If this isn't comfortable for you, come back to the other variation. No better, no worse, just different. And when you're ready, come back to standing, and then we'll do the other side. So we're just going to turn the top of the right foot to the ground. Facing forward, maybe reach your right arm up to the sky. Maybe this is enough right here, or for a little more sensation, reach back for your right foot. And just opening up the front of the body. We don't do this enough because we tend to sit a lot for our jobs and in our daily lives in our culture. So being mindful to stretch out those hips. 1 more inhale, exhale to release. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips, take your feet out wide, and we're just going to make some hip circles here. And you can keep your hip circles as small as you like or make them very generous. You can take your feet wider or narrower, whatever feels right in your body. And then when you're ready, reverse your circles. Don't forget to breathe your breath. Maybe you hear some sounds happening. Just let it be whatever it is. And then we'll come back to center. Bring your hands back to your sides, your feet back under your hips, and just notice what you notice. And then let's inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Take a hold of your right wrist and your left fingers, and we're just gonna side bend to the left any amount. Maybe you look up towards your right elbow. If having the arms elevated is not in your scope of movement today, just keep your arms down and take your side bend here. One more full breath here, maybe belly, ribs, heart. Exhale to release, and then inhale back up to the sky. Circle your left wrist with your right fingers, side bend to the right. And again, you can keep your arms down if that's better for you today, and maybe look up towards your left. You might find that 3-part breath right here as well. One more full breath here. And then inhale, reach your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, let your hands just float back down to your sides. And if you're standing, we'll come back to our seat. Gently lower yourself down. Feet under your knees. Head over your heart, heart over your hips. Just notice what you're noticing here. Let's inhale once more. Reach your arms forward and up. Exhale, twist to your right any amount. Let your arms float down. Couple breaths here, maybe inviting that 3-part breath here as well. And just noticing how it's a little different as you're in a twist. Couple breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Again, with or without the arms, inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left, let your arms float down, and take a few breaths here. Invite the 3-part breath if that's helpful. If it's not helpful, just let it go. One more inhale here. Exhale, unwind, come back to center. You can stay here with your hands resting in your lap, or maybe bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Let your elbows soften down and just hold yourself tenderly here. Hold yourself with a sense of compassion and a sense of connectedness to yourself. Imagine that our practices are for you to be able to make friends with yourself. Imagine that as you hold your body here, your body says, "Oh, I'm so grateful that you're here and that you're taking care of me today." And then if you like, you might bring your palms together to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And maybe just remembering once more, what is it that you are for? What is it that you would like to see more of in your life, in your community, in our world. And may your actions, your thoughts, and your words be led with that intention. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you all take good care. And again, if you're an editor and you would like a job editing, reach out for me. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Namaste.
Thank you.